Hello everyone, Effie here. Today I'm going to show you how I made this card using our new Gardenia Wishes stamp set. This is a large Gardenia cluster featured in a 6x6 clear photopolymer set. It features this beautiful large cluster and this foliage cluster, and I'm going to start off by white heat embossing both of these stamps onto some watercolor paper. And after I've stamped it in some Versamark ink, I'm going to pour on some white embossing powder and then hit the whole panel with my heat tool. Today I'm watercoloring with traditional paintbrushes. So I have two glasses by my workstation. One is for dirty water and one is relatively clean water that I'll be dipping my clean paintbrush in. So I'm starting off by wetting the area that I want to paint first with some clean water with a larger brush tip, and then I'm taking a smaller brush tip and I'm adding a little bit of peony color burst into the inner corners of my petals. Now I'm using, what am I using? I'm using a silver black velvet paintbrushes in 4, 8, and 12 sizes. If you don't have brushes in these sizes, you can use your aqua brushes or water brushes that you have in your stash. If you have the fine, medium, and large tip, that should work too. So I'm applying the same wet and wet watercoloring technique to all of the florals. Now, after I put down a little bit of pigment into the petals using my smaller or number 4 brush, I'll take a larger brush and I'll make sure that the brush tip is nicely saturated and I'll pull that color out. I'm basically moving the pigment that's already on the paper with my clean brush. After I finish with the second smaller floral here, I actually use Peony and Alizarin Crimson for that second floral. For the foliage, for the leaves, I'll be using olive green color bursts, and I'm wetting the leafy areas with clean water first, and then I drop in bits of the olive green color burst. And then I'll take a larger clean brush that is nicely saturated and I'll pull that color out and I'll blend it out into the background. Now, if you go outside the lines when you're painting your actual blooms and your foliage, that's okay. I didn't take any care in staying in the lines for this project because sometimes I like that look. It kind of looks a little dreamy. So after I've painted some of the foliage, I'm going to move on and paint my last bloom using a combination of Peony and Alizarin Crimson color bursts. Now, after I've applied the same painting technique to this bloom, I'm going to go ahead and finish painting the rest of the foliage on the bottom right side of my panel. Now, I think I should have chosen a different green color for this project because I chose the same color palette for a previous project. So I feel like it kind of looks a little similar. And I just chose the olive green without really thinking or considering that. But I think if I could, I would have maybe chosen a different green. It might have looked a little different, or even gray. But you know what? It is what it is, and I'm just gonna go ahead and finish this project. So once I finish painting, I set the panel aside to dry completely, and I actually used my heat tool to speed up the process. Next, I took the largest die from our Double Stitch Rectangles large die collection to die cut my painted panel into an A2 size panel with stitching on the edges. But at the same time that I run the panel through my die cutting machine, I also took my Scripty Hugs word die and I die cut that out of white cardstock. I wanted the hug sentiment to be more of an embellishment for this project, so I die cut it 3 more times off camera and stacked and layered them together. To do that, you just kind of put tiny dots of liquid adhesive on top of one die cut, and then you put a second die cut right on top of it, and you repeat the process. And I did this 4 times with 4 die cuts. I also white heat embossed the sending you part of the sentiment off camera. The sending you is from our basic banner stamp set. I was just looking for something really quick and simple, and the basic banners has some nice basic sentiments that you can kind of use for all occasions. So I white heat embossed that onto black cardstock and then cut out the sentiment strip. So once my sentiments were complete, I just apply tiny dots of adhesive behind that my DIY word embellishment, and I just adhered that right onto my painted panel. Then I popped up the sending you right above the hug sentiment, and now we are almost finished. I'm going to just add some of our gold medallion sequins to embellish my card, and this just adds a really nice gilded touch to the card. So that is all from me today. I hope you all enjoyed my project and video. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel because I update it on a weekly basis. So thanks again for watching. I'll see you next time.